Today I'm showing you how to make your own Mardi Gras decor using a tiered tray. This project starts with one of the St. Patrick's Day trucks from Dollar Tree. I'm going to kind of sand down that shamrock so that it doesn't stand out once I paint it. I also did carefully remove that metal piece at the bottom because I am going to be reusing that as well as the paper on the wheels. You can see I tore that one on the right just a little bit, but I got it back on there. I'm going to give the rest of the truck a coat of Waverly chalk paint in Fern. The trim around the truck bed I'm going to be painting purple. Take a couple of coats to cover. Now I'm just playing around with my parts here to see where I want everything placed, starting with the metal piece and then some sparkly fleur-de-lis that I found at Walmart that I'm going to glue into the back of the truck. Once I have my placement decided, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue those pieces into place. I'm just going to embellish the truck a little bit with this gold paint pen. I did take a white paint pen and I wrote Mardi Gras Express, and then I went back with my gold paint pen to kind of accent the letters. Also did a little bit of splatter painting onto the truck before I was finished, but I lost the footage of that. But here you can see it in its final stages. I normally use Model Magic for this kind of project, but I am trying this Crayola air dry clay from Dollar Tree. I'm going to condition the clay a little bit in my hands, then I'm going to roll it out into a snake and then join the ends together. Looks sort of like a donut. Does not have to be perfect because it is going to be covered up with this next piece. So I'm just going to flatten out a piece. This is going to be our icing for our king cake. So I am going to flatten that out and cut it into the shape that I want it. Now I'm going to move on to some Mardi Gras macaroons. So I'm just going to roll some pieces out into a ball and then flatten them out for the center of the macaroons. And then I will do something similar for the outside of the cookies, but I'm going to go around it like this to make an indentation and then kind of poke at the edge to make the little rough edges like you see on the cookie. I'm going to paint 2 of these purple and 2 of them will be green. And then I'm going to use some yellow Model Magic that I had for the other ones. You can actually mix paint into Model Magic or this Crayola clay, but I didn't feel like getting my hands quite that messy today, so I'm just painting over them with some purple acrylic paint and then some green paint. I'm also going to be using the purple, green, and some yellow paint for the icing for the king cake. And I'm using this caramel color for the actual king cake to make it look baked. Once the purple, green, and gold paint had dried, I went over it with Mod Podge and I used a little bit of glitter to look like sugar. Now I can place the icing onto the king cake and shape it around the cake. And I go ahead and put those macaroons together. If your clay is fresh, you can go ahead and place all three of those pieces together and not have to use any glue, but mine was a little bit dry, plus I let that paint dry, so I did use some glue to adhere them together. Nothing says Mardi Gras like a crown, so I used some resin and I poured these crowns, and I've decided to use this one on top that I added a little hanger to before it dried, and I'm going to be painting it with some caramel paint, and then I'm going to go over it with some gold rub and buff. If you have ever had a beignet, raise your hand. Leave me an emoji in the comments below. A beignet is a French donut. They are usually square and they are covered with powdered sugar. If you've ever had a funnel cake, they're very much like funnel cakes. So here I'm just cutting some rectangles out of brown felt, and then I'm cutting out some icing, or it's not really icing, it's powdered sugar for the top from white felt. And I'm going to glue these pieces together and then stuff them with a little bit of polyfill. Of course, the powdered sugar is very messy, so oftentimes you'll see them served either, if not on a plate, if you get them to go, they'll be served in a paper bag. So I'm going to roll down this part of this paper bag, and I'm going to stamp the front of it and put my beignets inside. Now behind this bigger one that I just made, I made some smaller ones last year and lost the footage to that entire video, so that's why I'm showing you how to do that once again. Now I'm going to set up my tiered tray with everything that we've made so far, including a couple of things that I made last year. So here's our truck, our beignets, and our king cake. I did forget to put the baby in there. If you get the baby in the king cake, that means you bring the king cake the next year. Now here's a book stack that I made last year, a Mardi Gras mask, our macaroons, and of course, a pelican and a crawfish. Hope you've enjoyed this Mardi Gras tiered tray. Be sure and let me know what you think down in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Let the good times roll. Bye now.